I wanted to get in on the NBA a little bit and go and talk a little bit about it because we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs, and it's it bugs me. Let me just start it out by saying it bugs me on how many people are like all of a sudden they're Nets fans. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like last season when it first started, not this season that came up. I'm talking about the one that was riddled by coronavirus, right? There was, like, it looked like a different type of NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looked like the NBA was turning over a new leaf and things were about to get better, like, completely better. Every team had a dynamic duo. So it went from this super team with fucking Kevin Durant and the other 10 stars that were over there. And, really, that's the only super team. But, like, there wasn't any team that was definitely going... If you really stop and think, here's my problem with the NBA. Because, like, NBA is the only sport out of all the four major sports. We'll go basketball, football, hockey, baseball. NBA is the only sport out of those four where you pretty much already know who's going to win to start it out. Like, and it's been that way for the last 4 to 5. Like, matter of fact, like, you know who's going to the finals almost. You can guarantee one of the teams since LeBron went to the Heat. It's been like that, which I'm not hate. Like, at the time, I hated LeBron for that. I was a big Kobe fan, and I was a LeBron hater. But the thing I've noticed and I've realized is that when LeBron went to the finals, or went to Miami, which really you could say since Boston made their big three, but regardless, that's a different story. But when LeBron went over to that team, which my brother pointed this out to me, which is a great fucking point. There was nobody else on that team besides him, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. Ray Allen came later, and Ray Allen was 58 years old. So he really didn't matter. He was just there for that one big shot, which, I guess he did matter in the long run. But, and another thing, none of those players, nobody from LeBron's last championship, the last time when he was on the Heat and went to the finals, nobody from that team is still playing in the NBA. Mind you, now that was 2013, 2014 maybe, I want to say. Nobody's still playing from that team. Norris Cole was a rookie on that. So you can't say that he had a great team. And especially by the time it was all over, Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade were diminished. So I'm not whatever. I'm not trying to say that wasn't a super team or whatever. But that was, my brother made that point to me earlier today, and that was a great fucking point. Really, honestly, you can go back to the Cavaliers just from the last time he played. When he was on the Cavaliers, go through that entire team. The last season that he went to the finals with them, go through that entire team, and you won't find more than 5 players that are still in the NBA today. I'll name them because I looked them up today. Kyrie Irving, Iman Shumpert, which Iman Shumpert's on the Nets too. Tristan Thompson. Kevin Love, which he's done. He's only played 2 games this season. Iman Shumpert's only played 2 games this season. And there was, who else? It was another, no name for real. It was a bum. Hold on, I'll look it up. I'll look at it right now. Since I'm at a red light, motherfucker. Okay, so my point is, Iman Shumpert, hold on. And Joe Harris. So the last time LeBron won a championship, his entire team, like maybe it wasn't. So I said the last time he was in the finals. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say the last championship he had. Out of that entire team, the only players that are still in the NBA are Kevin Love, who's played 2 games this season, Tristan Thompson, he's having a decent year. He plays for the Celtics. Okay. And Kyrie Irving, Iman Shumpert, and fucking Joe Harris, who has I'm pretty sure I heard he has the best 3-point average this season. So so my point about that is, you can't say he had a super team. Kevin Love's diminished, same way Chris Bosh was by the time that he left there. What's his name? Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris and Iman Shumpert are all over on fucking the Nets. And then Tristan Thompson. I mean, yeah, like I said, he's having a decent year, whatever. Okay. You can't do that with Kevin Durant. And my problem with the Nets is that, or my whole point for stating that is that shows you how many players he really had on his team. You know? He really didn't have very much. J.R. Smith ain't been in the NBA since then. Fucking none of them have. Iman Shumpert has been in and out of injuries. Nobody from that team is still playing in the NBA today. There's 5 players out of that entire team. And 2 of them have only played 2 games this season. So really, there's 3 players who are really still playing. I could have turned right there. Damn it. But that's my point. Now, so that tells you that team right there is definitely beatable. Does it not? Is that not a valid point to say that there really wasn't much on that team, on those teams? You can say there was. You can sit there and try to argue it all day, but there wasn't very much on those teams. And I used to be the biggest LeBron hater because I was always a Kobe fan and people always told me that whatever. Now, Kevin Durant, on the other hand, what did he do? 73-9 win team. I'm going to go over there. All right. So then he leaves to go on a team where he doesn't have that much star power to prove himself, you know? And I would have had so much, for real, my favorite thing about last season was every team had a dynamic duo. You had Bradley Beal and John Wall. You had Russell Westbrook, James Harden. You had Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. You had LeBron, Anthony Davis. You could even say Kyle Lowry and Siakam. You could say Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. You could say fucking, come on now. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Who else? I mean, the only team that kind of had a big 3 is Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kemba Walker. You know who didn't have a big 3? Jimmy Butler. That's a big 2, a dynamic duo is Jimmy Butler. Who else? Jokic had Jamal Murray. You could say Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. So you see what I'm saying is every team had a dynamic duo. So nobody really had that big of an advantage over another team. You know, other than the Clippers, which were stacked, whatever. So I was looking at it as it's finally fair again. And it's about to be exciting. The playoffs last year were exciting as hell. Everybody had a chance. Everybody had, imagine Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving in last year's playoffs. Like, so when it started back up today, or this, not today, this season, when it started back up, it was exciting. Like, we saw Kevin Durant, and everybody was talking about it. How Karis LeVert was playing on that team, everything. Okay, so then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Kevin Durant, it doesn't look like Kevin Durant was not going anywhere, bro. I'm telling you that right now. Kevin Durant was not about to win the championship this year. He wasn't, I guarantee he wasn't even about to make the finals. And me going out on a limb, which it sounds crazy, I guarantee, I'm not going to guarantee, but I got $20 riding on it with my brother that motherfucker don't make the finals. That shit was, like, the way he played, I will never respect him as, like, a true star. And the fucked up thing is if he wins with this team, they're really good. Like, they're gonna try to say he's the best player in the NBA. I really hope that it's fucking. No, really, what I hope is that they say James Harden is the best player. And if they win, I'm hoping that they say James Harden is the best player in the NBA. I'm still very hopeful that Andre Drummond ends up on not the Pistons, the Lakers. But they did make a good point, Marc Gasol and Anthony Davis and everybody. But, like, I'm hoping that Andre, just because I love Andre Drummond. I'm from Michigan. They did him dirty here. Fucking Cleveland's doing him dirty. I'd like to see him go to the Lakers and see what he could do on a good team. And I think that as much as they want to hate on him, like, I think that he could actually do great. You can't, I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't. But I'd like to see it because I think that they can go big ball. If you really think about it, I think putting Andre Drummond, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and then fuck it, put Kuzma at shooting guard with Schroeder. Like, I think doing that would be insane. Like, I think that they would have a chance to go back to the way I liked back when I liked the NBA. Yeah, everybody's shooting now, but I think that they'd have enough speed, athleticism, and they could make it work. I'm not saying it's a great strategy, or I'm not saying that it's whatever, but they could really play bully ball against them small-ass nets. I think they could. But then again, something that's unfair. Like, it's hard to say it's unfair, because that sounds like I'm being just a hater, but really it is. Kevin Durant is 7 foot. You got the greatest offensive-minded coach ever in Mike D'Antoni, which I still blame him for Kobe dying. He killed Kobe. If you really ask me, because he ran him into the ground, ended his career, made him end his career a couple years earlier than he did. Maybe he wouldn't have retired at the same time. Maybe he'd still be alive if that motherfucker knew how to manage minutes as a fucking coach. But then again, it was Kobe's fault because Kobe was sitting there. And Kobe didn't want to just sit on the bench as his team would lose. But the whole reason they were losing is because Mike D'Antoni was a fucking idiot. He didn't know how to play Pau Gasol and Dwight Howard on the same court together. So, that's just me, though. That could be evil talk. That could be whatever. But that's how I feel. Kobe would still be playing if Mike D'Antoni wasn't his coach. Like, he wouldn't still be playing today. Don't get me wrong, but he would have played probably a year longer than he did. Maybe 2 years longer than he did. So then maybe he doesn't start writing books and shit until later on. Maybe that night never comes. Maybe that day never comes where he has to go over there to his fucking kids, whatever. And it's all just maybes and shit. It's like really I'm just talking shit when I say he's the reason why. But if you ask me, I can't respect him. Because regardless, what I'm saying is that he ended his fucking career. He ran him into the ground and he fucking ended his career is what I mean when I say that. So, whatever. But no, like, you got him, so you can really put Kevin Durant at the center position. or at least power forward. But against a small ball type of team, like say they go up against Toronto, like no, I don't think Toronto's making the playoffs. But if they were to go up against Toronto, or even the Clippers don't got a big squad. You could put him at center and he'd be fine. And then you could have fucking what? No, Blake. Matter of fact, no, they just got Blake Griffin. Motherfucker. I'm forgetting all about this because they needed another player. Like, what's up with Kevin Durant and his insecurity about what he can't do? Like, he's not, like, and I hate how people try to act like he's the greatest player. You know, like, why the fuck did you, like, you needed Griffin too? And yet, I don't want to hear nothing about how Griffin ain't fucking good enough. Oh, he's not good enough. Let me tell you something. Joe Harris, like I said, is one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA, right? Percentage-wise, that's where he's at this year. Okay. You put James Harden as the main ball handler. Kyrie Irving, I guess, is shooting guard now. Joe Harris, you put him at small forward. You put fucking Kevin Durant at power forward and Blake Griffin at center. Okay. Blake Griffin still, no, he might not be the first option no more. In my mind, he never was. He was always the second option. He might not be the second option no more. Right? He might not, like, he'd be a good third, but he's not their third option. He's their fucking fourth option. Or at least fifth. He's a matchup between the fourth and fifth option. You gotta double team one of those three players. And who you gonna leave open? Harris? Blake Griffin? Blake Griffin can still go in and like, for real, he showed it this year, even on the sorry-ass Pistons. That's what I mean. What the fuck? Like, where are we getting that Kevin, like, I don't know. And people really act like he's some type of star. I mean, yeah, he is a star. But he needs four stars to win. Like, it was fair at the beginning of this season. Everybody had a duo. You know what I'm saying? Like, Devin Booker and fucking Chris Paul. Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell. Like, that's another one. Like, what the fuck? How much do you need? And then you gonna get on Twitter and start talking shit to haters. But you haven't proved yourself one time. Like, yeah, maybe he hit a couple big shots. But like that, like I said, like that type of team right there, you pretty much are, like, and that's why I'm going against it. Like, and that's why the last thing I'm gonna say is I swear that the NBA is just trying to take from Vince McMahon's fucking playbook. Create a team for people to hate, just like fucking Vince McMahon and the WWE. What he does, he gets a big superstar for people to hate. And he's like, the dude's an asshole, like that Roman Reigns dude. People want to see that man lose. I've only seen a couple of the new episodes. I'm trying to watch it with my kids. But you get somebody that people want to see lose, so then you give him the title, and then you want to see somebody knock him off his fucking his reign, his fucking title, like, you know. And that's the same thing that they're doing with the fucking, like, my brother keeps saying, oh, they're just doing all this just to try to beat LeBron. No, it's not just to try to beat LeBron. They're trying to see how much fucking greatness LeBron actually has. And that's what makes me think this shit is, That's what makes me think this shit, no. Fucking, that's what makes me think the shit is fixed. What type of shit is that? That many stars? What is it, the night of too many stars? It's ridiculous, man. Like, I really can't, like, and I'm gonna laugh if they don't make the finals. I am going to laugh my fucking ass off, bro. You don't even understand how much I want them to lose. And you can call me a hater if you want to, but like, the only way you could, like, I don't know.